You ever asked why scam artists and narcissists often get away? Not every scam artist is a narcissist, even though all narcissists are scam artists, because that's the only thing a narcissist can do, scamming others. It comes down to this. A narcissist is a scam artist automatically because the narcissist knows very well that he or she cannot get away with their attitude. Their attitude is they expect a one-way traffic towards them in getting supply in a form of attention, validation, appreciation, investment. They want all to come to them, but they don't want any obligations whatsoever towards anyone else. When they demand something, they're entitled to it. When you demand something, who do you think you are? And when they attack because they want to relieve themselves, because they want to face life's difficulties, then they have the reasons. If you would have done the same thing, they would have haunted you until you're in your grave. The narcissist knows very well they can't get away with that attitude. They know very well that if they would be very open and direct with their attitude, nobody would want anything to do with them. And if that would happen, they wouldn't have a job, they wouldn't have social context, and they will die very quickly. Because you need to get along with other people for your survival as well as for your functioning as a human being. So the narcissist knows that they have to change. But here's the thing, they don't want to change. They don't want to face themselves. So the only option left for them is to scam you. They do this by having a pleasant approach to you. They do it like this. They study you to see what you want or where you have a lack in your life. And then they mirror what you want and what you need. Not only what you want, but also what you need. Those that are a bit more smart, they would mirror what you need. And by mirroring what you need, they are performing an approach to you, because the approach you have is a performance. So they are performing to get access to you. So they have a pleasant approach to you to get a hold on you. They do this very well in the beginning. And once they have you in their grip, now they let the mask slip. Not immediately, but over time. Because now you're still attached to the pleasant approach they came with in the beginning. So now that you see a whole nother dynamic, you think, huh? What's going on? Now you're confused. And that's the purpose. That is the spell the narcissist puts on you. Now, scam artists are not all narcissists, even though they use narcissistic methods from time to time. Look, the reason why scam artists often succeed, and the reason why narcissists often both succeed and get away with things, is because they have a pleasant approach. They know that human beings crave validation. They know that human beings often don't want to admit they're wrong. They know that human beings have the tendency to flee from stuff. They know it. They know all of these things. They know that human beings often don't want to endure difficulty to get a better outcome. Unless someone is a religious fanatic, people often don't want to do it. They know this about other people because they themselves, I'm talking about the narcissists, are the extreme of it. So what do? They relate to your relief seeking. And by doing that, you feel acknowledged. And because you feel acknowledged, you open up yourself because you feel safer. And that is the trap. Christ said that he sends us as sheep amongst wolves. Therefore, we must be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Now look at this. Christ said, I sent you as sheep amongst wolves. Be wise as serpents. A serpent has no difficulty seeing a wolf from a sheep. Why? Because serpents see warmth. The heat of a wolf is different than the heat of a sheep. A wolf is a predatory animal. So the heat of their body is more intense and different from the heat of a sheep. A sheep is just a sheep. The warmth of their body is relatively stable, but the warmth of the body of a wolf is quite intense. So a serpent will discern a wolf from a sheep very easily by just looking at them. He or she will see the body warmth. He will sense the body warmth of the animals, and he can distinguish, oh, that's a sheep, oh, that's a wolf. So we must be able to discern the fake from the real. And wolves often come in sheep's clothing. I'm not talking about out there in nature. I'm talking about the metaphor Christ was using. People who have a predatory attitude, they know very well that they can't get away with a predatory attitude. They know it. That's why they need to mask this predatory attitude with a pleasant approach. Have you ever had someone commanding you to do something, but it did in the form of a question? For example, someone can come to you and say, get aside, or move. Or someone can say, could you please move a bit? In both cases, the individual wants the same thing. They want you to move. In the first case, they just forced their will on you. Move. In the second one, they tricked you to comply with them. Why? Their approach was different, and their approach affected you on a psychological level. That is why you have narcissists who are direct with their dumping. They're not direct with the fact that they're fleeing, but they will dump on you so that they don't have to face themselves. They don't want to face themselves, so now they turn on you, and now they don't like you. Now they project all their pain and anger on you, and they do it openly so that they can have a grip on you, because that's what they wanted to begin with, control. Others seek control by avoiding you, and they talk negative behind your back. Others do it into your face. Why? Because they don't want to make all the effort to avoid you. Now they want you to avoid them. They projected onto you. That's what they did. Nobody told them to do it. So now they want to face themselves. So now they need to avoid you, because every time they see you, they're triggered and they remember about their own crap. So they don't want that. So now they want to avoid you. But for them to avoid you, that will cost them. They don't want that. So now they even want to put the cost of them fleeing on you by generating this hostile climate towards you so that you will get away. They are using violence as blackmail to control you. That's their approach, and it works. So narcissists know that their approach matters. Look, if a narcissist wants to get a job because he just wants to be able to pay bills, well, let's say it's a she. She wants to get a job just to pay bills. How will she dress to get the job? Will she go over there in a party dress? No, because she knows if she arrives there in a party dress, she will not get a job. She will arrive there dressed in a formal way to trick the employer to hire her. If she's at the club and she just wants a man to relieve herself with sexually, she will not come there in formal clothes because she knows it will not trigger the men who are thirsty for sex. She will use a party dress that shows a lot of leg. She knows that the right approach matters. Now, the reason I'm recording this message is because too many believers, they lack in this area. Someone can have the right approach that's appropriate for the circumstance, but it doesn't mean their attitude is right. Let me repeat that. Some people have the right approach, they have the appropriate approach, but their attitude isn't right. Someone can behave properly towards you, but at the same time, they wish you dead. So they have a negative attitude towards you because they're projecting their anger onto you. But at the same time, they know that if they act out on their anger, they'll be in jail, or they may lose their job, or some other bad stuff will happen that they can't control. So they change their approach to avoid bad consequences on them. So their external behavior is proper, but their attitude is not. Because if there was no necessity for them to have an appropriate approach, they would go very far in unloading their violence. Christ said that we need to beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Those are people with the wrong attitude, but with the right approach. So learn the following. Just because someone's approach is appropriate doesn't mean the individual is appropriate. Okay? Just because someone has the right approach doesn't mean their attitude is right. Too often we confuse someone's approach with their attitude. The lover boy that seeks to lure women into prostitution, especially teenage girls, he comes with the right approach to trick the woman's brain. That's what he does. He has the right approach. And that's why many women fall for lover boys when they're in their young years. If he would come and say to the lady, hey, listen lady, I can't stand you. I worship a pagan deity, but I need you to go into prostitution so I can make money off of you. Do you seriously think the young girl would get along with it? She would say, get out of here. But if he would come as everything she ever wanted, before she knows it, she'll be complying with her own victimization. So if even criminals, evildoers, scam artists, and narcissists know, if even they know that the right approach matters, then believers should know it more than they do. I want you to reflect on your approach to daily life, your approach to difficult people, your approach to difficulties in general. Change your approach so your approach is beneficial and practical. Some of you need to change your attitude. Change your attitude because in the right attitude, you are at ease and you can develop the right approach. Having the right approach is very important. If you want to catch fish at the river or at a lake, you can throw your angle and wait there until the fish bites in the bait. Or you can come with a net, you throw the net and you capture a lot of fish at once. Capture a lot of fish at once is more effective. So if you want to catch many fish, you use a net instead of one angle. That is what I mean with approach. Have the right attitude, be Christ-centered, and let the Holy Spirit guide you in having the right approach to everything you will encounter. Some afflictions that we go through as believers, we could have easily avoided them, or we could have easily bypassed them if you had the right approach. That's why Christ told you to shake the dust off your feet, because some people just don't want to comply with justice. They just want to escalate to relieve themselves. They are creeps. That's why Christ tells you, if you know someone is a creep, then shake the dust off your feet. Shake off their violence off of you so that you remain in safety. Because they are dangerous and they want you in their danger so they are at ease. So you shake off their danger off of you. That's not letting them win because they can't win, because they're self-destructive. You win by shaking them off. That's why there are even professional martial artists. There was, let me say, even Bruce Lee once said, while he was still alive, he didn't say it literally like this, but I'm paraphrasing now, that the best fight is no fight, when you just walk away by the escalated situation, by keeping your cool. Even Bruce Lee, who was considered one of the best martial artists, but there are some that debate that, even he, who was seen as a hero in martial artists, said that. He didn't say, well, you just need to get along and deal with them. No, he said the best fight, the best option is to de-escalate. And even law enforcers are telling people, when someone is about to escalate, de-escalate the situation, walk away. It's all about your approach. The wrong approach can cost you your health, it can cost you your life, it can even cost the people around you. So it can also affect others around you in a negative way. Your approach matters. So be in line with Christ and discern other people's attitudes. Do not look at someone's approach. Look at their attitude. see through their approach. And here's another thing. This whole idea of setting boundaries, being firm what you want, being firm what you don't want, don't do it. Tell me, Rashid, what are you telling me? Don't do it. Let me explain. When you become firm in what you want and don't want, what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate, what you're doing is you're telling people what makes you tick. And once people know what makes you tick, they will use it against you. So this whole idea of setting boundaries, of having self-respect and all of that, it sounds very good, but it's a trap. You should be flexible and practical. When a situation becomes dangerous, you just escape the situation by removing yourself in a practical way. This whole idea of self-defense, self-respect, forcing boundaries, all of that, it puts you in a defense mode. It puts you in a survival mode. And in a survival mode, you can't think clearly. You can't see all options for what they are. When you remain at peace and see its danger that's unfolding, you just shake it off and you're out of danger. But if you have this attitude, no, I have self-respect, I'm not allowing people to treat me like this, I'm going to put some boundaries, I'm going to make things plain onto them. Okay, you can do that, you are in a survival mode. And you put boundaries, and now you are stuck with limitations that you put in place. When you enforce boundaries, you're limiting yourself, not the other individual. You think it's other individual you are limiting, but that's not true. So now you enforce a limit on yourself and you demand the other to get along with your limit. What if the other doesn't get along with your limit? What's going to happen then? What's going to happen then is that you are now triggered. Now pain is triggered in you because you are in a restriction that's triggered. And now you're the one carrying the weight and the other is at ease. And what happens now? Now you have this weight that you carry with you, and what do? Now? Now you need to get rid of that weight. So now you avoid the individual. So now you have a whole baggage that you're carrying with you. They tell you to be firm with what you want. But what if what you want is not right? What if what you want is not desirable or not practical? This whole idea of self-defense, of enforcing boundaries, self-respect, and all of it, it's a scam. You are limiting yourself more than you limit someone else. And even if you get what you want, that means relief from a situation or relief from some behavior or relief from someone, it will haunt you. So be flexible and practical. That's the right approach. Be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. That's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.